Hello again, everybody, with Hall of Famer Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler. I'm Dave Lamont, filling in today for Rob Stone. Well, there he is again.
All right, thanks for coming back. Today we have a Wells Gardner 19-inch K7000 on the bench. This is out of our Rampage machine at the arcade. We picked up the Rampage machine about 5 years ago or so from Jeremy Fox out at Prince Arcades in Bolingbrook, Illinois. If you're ever out that way, stop in and check his place out. It's pretty neat. But we got the machine from him roughly 5 years ago, and when we got it, the monitor looked great. There was no need to rebuild it, do anything to it, because it had a fantastic image. Nothing was wrong with it. So I chose, okay, I'll just wait till something goes wrong with it, then I'll worry about it at that time. So that turns out to be today. Fast forward 5 years later, and a couple of days ago, I noticed that the screen was getting brighter. Retrace lines were appearing, and it was getting slightly fuzzy. So I went in and adjusted the screen voltage and the focus. Got it back looking good. A couple days later, it was back to being out of focus and retrace lines. So that means one thing, the flyback is going bad. So we're going to have to replace that. And the reason I'm making this video is I've got so many 7000 videos. There's no shortage of that. So it's not going to be focused on repairing or redoing the chassis. I'll put a new flyback in, cap it, reflow it, all that stuff, normal jazz I do. No reason to go into that. I've got countless videos already. But this is going to be kind of a combination video all in one where we clean the monitor and we clean the chassis, because I think this was removed at some point years and years and years ago. This chassis was removed from the frame because there is evidence of it being removed. The screw is clean. There's dust, witness marks and dust in the dust around the screw head here. And it looks like that cap was replaced, but that's it. I mean, there's no evidence of anybody ever disturbing the neck board dirt. You can see here where someone took it off in the past and they moved the anode cup around and disturbed all the dirt here. But you can see just how much it's been caked back on since that was done. And the tube itself, this is my fingerprints from taking it out of the machine, but the tube itself is just absolutely gross and nasty. This thing's so nasty, if it ran into Janet Jackson on the street, it would need to refer to her as Ms. Jackson. So you can see here just how filthy this thing really is. So the purpose of this video is going to be to go through and we're going to clean this chassis here. We're going to clean this thing, and then we're going to clean the tube and do all of this kind of together in one video, because it's hard to really showcase how dirty this is with the overhead here. I can't even, trying to block some of the light so you get a better idea of how dirty it is. But anyway, you can see it's just caked on here. It's just the intensity of the light here kind of doesn't show it in person just how bad it is, but maybe you get the general idea. So another evidence of it being removed is you can see here where the RTV is. If I pull on this, how clean that area is. Clean right there. I push it back on, it's dirty again. So this has been off, but not at least the 5 years that I've had it. And it must have been years and years and years ago because of all the dirt that's been caked on here. There's no evidence of it ever being disturbed anywhere except right here on this screw head and right there at that cap. So maybe they just changed this cap out, because that's a 470 microfarad, and so is this one. But this one's original, the original Elna one. This one's been replaced. So someone took it out to change just this cap. I don't know, maybe, but otherwise it's just been sitting here in this monitor for who knows how long. But it's the original white knob flyback. These have a bad reputation of going bad, but you know, in my experience, they actually are kind of the workhorse of the 7000. They actually last longer, in my opinion, than the black knob flybacks. But you can see there's a crack across the outside case there above where it says focus. But that's totally normal and not an actual problem, because they're all cracked and they work for years with those cracks there. That's just the outer shell, not anywhere near the high voltage. But anyway, so we're going to take this off of here and we're going to go out and wash this thing. We're going to wash the tube out in the driveway, and we'll show the procedure and technique for that. And then we'll wash this in the deep sink, and I'll show you the technique and procedure for that. And we'll end up here with a brand spanking new sparkly clean monitor. So, I mean, I'm not going to do like before and after. Like, I'm not going to just say, okay, here's the before, and then come back and show you the after. Blink. I'm not going to do that. We'll just watch the procedure here together as we do this. So I'll get this taken apart here, and then we will take the tube outside, and we'll start with the tube, get it washed and cleaned, and then we'll blow blow out all of the water. I like to take some denatured alcohol and just absolutely spray and coat the inside of the yolk with the denatured alcohol, because that actually will disperse the water and help the water not sit inside the yolk. So we do that. We'll spray it out with compressed air, and then we'll use the denatured alcohol to clean out what's left in there, and we'll set the tube on its face, let everything drain out this way. You'll see the whole thing, but I'm just kind of jibber-jabbering here, making more of a to-do. I need to make less of a to-do. So we'll get this out there, and we'll start with the tube, and we'll see how that goes. Well, we're here in the deep sink with the chassis, and before I get started here, I want to say I apologize about how abysmal that camera work was there for the tube cleaning, because it's about 50-mile-an-hour winds outside right now. And I tried to put the camera in the corner of the garage door where it meets the front of the house where the wind wouldn't hit it, but the camera took a tumble there, and I tried to catch it, and I think I may have lost some footage, I don't know, so I had to move the camera to the other side of the house where it was away from the wind, and it was about the best angle I could get, but I probably could have moved the monitor over further down the sidewalk there, as you saw. But regardless, you still were able to see the procedure there. You know, you spray it down with Simple Green, and you use a brush here to agitate the Simple Green. Then you rinse it off, and then what did I do after that? Then I used the I say compressed air, but it's basically a blower that I use to detail my car, and I just used that to kind of blow all the water off. Then I sprayed a bunch of that denatured alcohol up inside and down inside the yoke, and then I blew it out to help displace the water that you really kind of hide in the cracks and crevices, and then you wipe it down with a rag and some Windex and stuff, and you'll have to go through and wipe it down again. I'm going to go through wipe it down one last time before I actually show it off on camera, but that's the basic gist of it. Now, people say, hey, you know, I'm scared to clean or get the monitor actually wet because they're scared of getting water inside the tube. Well, people ask that question, and it's not anything wrong because they just don't know. The tube's actually under vacuum and it's sealed, so there's no way you can get water in the tube. If you get water in the tube, then the tube's got an opening that shouldn't be there. So if you're not familiar with any of that, that's the gist of it. It's under a vacuum, it's sealed. You're not going to get any water inside the tube, nothing to worry about with that. So I wanted to point out that and say I'm sorry about the terrible camera work, but you still got the idea there of what needs to happen and how it works for the tube. So I use Simple Green for the tube, Windex to wipe it down after it's all dry. But for the chassis, I like to use this Dawn Platinum Plus Power Wash refillable cartridge thing because this works wonders on all this caked on, baked on grime and dirt and stuff. So first we're going to do is just rinse this off with hot water. The water's already up to temperature, so I'll turn it on here. Actually, we'll do this, and I'll put the sprayer mode on here, and then we're just going to give this a good rinse. I don't want to get the neck socket too wet. You want to avoid getting the neck socket wet because you don't want water down inside the focus plates will get corroded. So you want to kind of do your best to avoid that. So hold on to the neck board with your hand here and just rinse all this off using hot water, and try not to get the neck socket wet. I mean, that's already a billion times better. So now we're going to turn the water back off, and we're going to spray this power wash stuff all in here. Get in the crooks and nooks and crannies, cracks, crevices. And then take your brush here and just agitate this thing like so. And be careful because you don't want to knock any components loose or something where, you know, we're going to be doing a reflow and everything on this, so it's not too big of a deal, but you don't really want to knock any components loose. You could crack a adjustment pot or something that you didn't realize, I should say, that you cracked or broke. Then you go turn it on and, you know, you got vertical collapse or something because you accidentally broke the vertical size pot or vertical position pot and didn't realize it. So you kind of want to just be careful when you're going through here, and you only need to loosely agitate this stuff. I have this 1-inch bristle brush, and I just use this to agitate all this gunk and stuff off of here. The area around the horizontal drive transformer can be kind of stubborn. It likes to attract a lot of dirt, and it doesn't brush off that easy. So you want to pay a little bit more attention to that area. You can do that, but for the most part, you should be able to agitate this stuff fairly easily. I don't know why I'm bothering with that. We're changing the flyback. Force of habit. So, yeah, we can get the bottom side too. And turn this back on. And I'm going to put this back to the stream like this as opposed to the sprayer. And we'll just set this up on its corner like this and rinse it off. And there we go. Now for the neck board, you can actually get some alcohol and just kind of spray some alcohol on here. And unless it's super, super dirty, you don't really need to rinse it off with water. But I'm going to go through here and agitate this just so we can clean it anyway. But just get yourself some denatured alcohol and get it in. Get yourself one of these, dispenser bottles that I just used there and showed, and then just rinse this off again. And then this will air dry. I mean, we're going to get the blower and blow all this off, but that's how I'd recommend cleaning your neck boards. Don't get any water down inside the neck socket. Alcohol is fine. I'm not going to have any problem with that. So I'm going to get my blower and we'll blow all this off and see how this looks afterward. Well, and there we have it. Now, when you blow this off with your air, if you're going to go about that method, I highly recommend doing that. You want to just blow off on this until you don't see any more water moving anywhere. Like underneath, make sure you hit all the nooks and crannies. Again, I keep saying that, but that's just the best way to describe it. Like underneath the filter cap, which will dry on its own eventually. You want to wait about 24 hours after doing this to actually even try and give it any power. Even though you blow all the water off, wait at least 24 hours or so before you power it up. Disclaimer. So like you want to get all the water out as much as you can by blowing underneath, concentrate air underneath your filter cap, in your crevices, like inside your width cap and inside the little holes here for your neckboard interconnects, and underneath your ICs and underneath your connectors and the yoke connector, degauss connector, underneath the flyback if you weren't changing it out already, underneath your caps. I mean, anywhere that water can hide, get close and get all that and blow it out. and then just go around until you don't see water flowing anywhere anymore at all. That's how you know you're done. And I do want to notice or show here that I noticed something while I was doing this as evidence that that there's two caps that were changed. It looks like this cap here was changed and this cap here was changed. Now how do we know this? Well, whoever did this didn't cut off the legs for the cap. They just folded them over. There's those two there, and then over here they did the same thing. You've got to be kidding me. Look at this. Somebody, I can't even get, wow. Someone changed these caps out and didn't even bother cutting the legs off of here. That's insane. They just folded them over out of the way and then put the chassis back in. Can you believe that? So someone did take this out and changed out two caps, but it doesn't look like they did anything else. So we'll get that taken care of, obviously. And this does work. It does work and operate. It just has the drifting focus and brightness. So anyway, there you go. Clean chassis. Let's go get this on the bench. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and do the reflow and the cap kit and all the rework. I'll do all the rework off camera. I've got countless 7,000 videos where I show all that. So watch any of those. You know, if you're new to the channel, just search my channel for K7000. You'll find everything. But if you're an old hat at this channel, you know what to look for, what to do. So I'll do that off camera. When I come back, I'll have this redone and rebuilt. And then we'll go through and give the tube one last wipe down, check it out, get this mated back up, and do some final testing and see how it all turned out. Okay, and here we have the chassis completely rebuilt. Caps, flyback, reflow, cleaning, the whole 9 yards. So it's basically brand new now. So we'll zoom in here a little bit. You can just check it out here. I mean, it's not 100%, but given how it was, I would have to say that it turned out pretty darn good. So, oh, I just realized I forgot to mark my bipolar caps here. Not that it matters, but for the sake of completeness, there we go. So, yep, I would say this turned out pretty good. New flyback, of course, and all that jazz. Even the bottom side here is nice and clean. So, yep, you saw the procedure and what it takes. Now, of course, I did all the rework on here. I did all the reflow on the header pins and the jumper cable here, this thing here that always has bad solder joints. The 2 points here for R101, got those done already. R104, the thermistor here for the degauss circuit, yoke header pins, basically everything and anything that needs reflow. I always reflow the 2 interconnections here for our neckboard connector. I also got all the rework and reflow done for the neckboard too. So this is now nice and clean and ready to go. And so I'm going to wait about, it's not going to be 24 hours. It's actually going to be roughly about 18 for me because I've had other stuff going on between when I last left you and when I got this done. So I'll wait till about this time tomorrow and we'll cut. It'll be just a few moments for you, but 18 hours for me, around, give or take. And we'll come back here and I'll throw this on the tube and we'll test it out and make some adjustments and it should work, and then we'll see how that goes. All right, it is the next day and this is all back together, brand spanking new, refurbished, cleaned, wiped down, for all intents and purposes, a brand new monitor. Now I say that with a grain of salt, or in quotation marks, because we do have a little bit of screen burn here from Rampage, right here, where it says game over, and you can see, well, maybe you can't, but let's see if I can get some light on here. There you go. You can see some screen burn here from the buildings and things. So it does have some screen burn from Rampage, but that's to be expected on a 40-year-old monitor, and how dirty this was in the high usage hours and things. But when you look at it from here back, it's brand new. So yeah, ready to go. I don't have it secured in here. It's just sitting in place in case we got to pull it back out if something doesn't go right. Like I say, it did work perfectly fine beforehand, except for the drifting brightness and focus from the flyback. So with the complete cleaning, rebuild, everything put back together, I'll turn the light out here and let's cross our fingers and hope that it still at least turns on and works. and then B, we'll see what we get. Now the flyback does come from the factory with the screen pot turned all the way down. So I did turn it up about a quarter turn, so hopefully it does come on and we'll get an image. I'm using Mortal Kombat here, a little Y-unit Mortal Kombat board for our video signals. So let's go ahead and turn it on, cross our fingers, and count to 3. Oh, I do want to mention, you see this contraption here, because I don't have the exact correct connector for this particular setup, so I just put some alligator leads here to my power connector. So, all right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, came on, we got high voltage. What do we get for an image? Oh, it's working, but we're way out of focus as expected. All right. Let's adjust our focus here a little bit. Ooh. Nice. Awesome. That is clear as a bell. We need to adjust colors. We got... Oh, someone's at my front door. What in the world? Hang on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I got... it was a UPS driver. I ordered some parts for Metallica. I bought a Metallica remastered premium pinball machine, and I ordered some side rails and armor to get powder coated green to match the new artwork and things, and just kind of getting ahead of the game for when it arrives. I'll have all that stuff done and I can swap that stuff out. Anyway, getting off topic. So it's working. We need to make some adjustments for color and brightness and stuff. So let's get the tripod extended here off the shaky cam, and let's do a little bit of adjusting here. So we'll start off with brightness all the way down, contrast all the way down, screen pot up until we get our retrace lines. There we go. Back down till they just go away, roughly there. Brightness up until our background is no longer black, which will be right about there. Back down till it just goes black. Turn our contrast up a bit, and that's where we'll start. And as far as colors go, that's pretty good already. Possibly too red. Let's turn our drive down slightly. Let's turn our green drive up a little bit. There we go. That's good. That's good, that's good, that's good! Now we'll turn our blue drive up slightly. Nah, right about there. Well, hey, that's pretty darn good, I must say. So there we have it. I do make hand gestures and stuff off screen. So there we have it, a fully working K7000 resurrected from the depths of the dust bin, or the dust bowl, if you will. So it's ready to live again for another 40 years inside a Rampage. I'll get it put back in the cabinet, make adjustments, and hopefully it lasts a good long while now. So there we go. Actually, I don't really need to make that's much of an adjustment here for MK, but if anything, it looks like the image is tweaked slightly, but that may be this bezel here. No, we might need to see if we can turn the yoke slightly. I'm going to loosen up the yoke here. Well, no, I don't have my Phillips head. Ugh. Well, I need to loosen the strap on the yoke and just kind of... What's going on with the red gun there? I'll attribute that to having to wake up after the cleaning. Anyway, this tube has, been running for 40 years, so and it's been off. And so this tube has been running in the Rampage machine 8 hours a day or more for the last 5 years or so. So looks like we had a little bit of red kind of shorting a bit, but I'll let it run for a while, make sure nothing happens. But I mean, for the purposes of this video, we're not going to really worry too much about that. That was kind of odd though. But I need to loosen up the yoke and just kind of take it and turn it slightly this way, because right now it's tweaked that way ever so slightly. But we'll do that later some other time. But all right, I guess that's it. So for this video, I really appreciate it. If you have a comment or a question, make sure you like it, or comment down below. Like the video, give me a thumbs up. And of course, as always, I appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for more. I just saw that flash of red as I was doing the outro there. I just saw the retrace lines in that flash of red. That means the picture tube, the red gun in the picture tube, is shorting out. If you ever see all of one color, if your screen is all red, all green, or all blue, but there's no retrace lines, then you have a shorted drive transistor. If you have all red, all green, or all blue, and you do have the retrace lines, then your picture tube color gun is shorted. So we've got the red color gun is acting. I'm tapping on the neck. The reason it looks like that is because the tip of my screwdriver here is ferrous, or it's kind of magnetized, but let's see if that helps with the red. All right. Well, at any rate, for the purposes of this video and what we wanted to talk about and what we wanted to show, it's done. So, all right. Well, outro number 2. Thanks again. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.